I'm working on it. She woke from a dream. Her head was on fire. Why was he so nervous? He took her to the park. She crossed her arms and lowered her eyelids. Someday somebody's gonna ask you the question that you should say yes to once in your life. Maybe tonight I got a question for you. She had no idea. She started to cry. She said in a good way. He took her by the hand. Oh yeah, he walked her back home. They took the long way. Someday somebody's gonna ask you a question that you should say yes to once in your life. Maybe tonight I got a question for you. I wrote this song in London, England one night. I was trying to stay awake and watch a Dallas Stars hockey game against the New Jersey fucking Devils. Woo, baby! And they beat us. But in the meantime, I had a lot of hours to kill, and I had just spent that day running around with my little sister and her boyfriend and this really beautiful girl that just happened to also be in town from New York City. And I knew her because I'd been on a date with her roommate. And she was there staying at the home of her boyfriend, but he wasn't there at the time. It was nice, it was platonic. She was super beautiful, but I didn't have to worry about it because of the aforementioned roommate and the boyfriend. And there might have also been a husband who wasn't quite divorced from just yet. And also the boyfriend was 6'4" and French, and a male model. So the odds were stacked against anything but a platonic relationship. We spent that day together, and I went and I sat up in the kitchen of this house in Wimbledon that belonged to a solicitor who liked to brag about how he ripped off American artists when they came over to London. His son was a jerk to my sister eventually, and she dumped him. But that's a side note. To keep myself awake, I wrote a song, and I used the story of a couple I had met that day. A young British actress who was very much an actress, and her boyfriend who was an office worker, a really sweet, sweet guy. And he had just proposed to her. He bought a ring. He had one day off from work, and he had a whole plan where he was going to take her to the park. You know, the park is a park owned by the Queen, but she lets people use it, which is pretty sweet. People talk shit about her, but apparently she's got a nice side. So he took her to the park, and she was in a bad mood. And he couldn't get her out of the bad mood. He tried joking around, he tried, you know, picking flowers for her, he did all this romantic stuff, and she just scowled. And as I said, she was an actress, so she could scowl very effectively. And finally he sat down in front of her and he said, "Listen, someday somebody's gonna ask you a question, and you better say yes to it." And she got confused. And then he pulled out a ring and she got all teary-eyed. She stopped being in a bad mood and she told him yes. And they told us this story, and I was sitting next to this girl who was super beautiful. And like I said, I'd been on a date with her roommate, which was complicated. And she had a boyfriend who was tall. And a husband still. But what I didn't know was that about a year and a half later, I would get down on one knee in front of her on the corner of Ptarmigan and Old Eagle in a suburb of Cleveland, and I would propose to her. And I must have known it on some subconscious level at the time, because I sat there in the kitchen in Wimbledon, England, and I wrote this song for her. Someday had to murder the boyfriend and the husband.